On the Radio is brought to you by Zurich Insurance, the perfect place to catch up with all things Melbourne. If you enjoy this content and want more inside access from the team, make sure you visit the club website.
Great to have your company too, Sam Edmund and Jordan Lewis with you on a Tuesday morning. Hope you are well wherever you might be listening from. I know our next guest is very well. While the team has a bit of work to do, Jordan, and there's been a bit of up and down about it, a bit of the roller coaster, this man has been flying. He is the defender. He's in All-Australian contention. His name is Stephen May. Thanks for joining us, Maisie. Have we got you there, Maisie?
Yeah, mate. Sorry, just cut out.
Good start.
Sorry, fellas.
I thought Jordan Lewis had spilled his bone broth all over our equipment in here. Did you know he was onto this? Was he doing this when he was a teammate of yours?
No, I knew he did a few different things. He doesn't eat pasta and that before games, or I thought it was odd, but he played 500 games, so what works for the big fella.
I want to get what you're eating, mate, and more specifically your form this year after probably having having an interrupted season last year. You must be pretty proud of the way you've bounced back and been able to play and conduct yourself out there.
Yeah, Louis. No, certainly, mate. I'm being pretty proud of my efforts this year. Last year probably couldn't have gone any worse. Felt like the harder I tried to get myself back and get back out in the field, something just kept going wrong. So, I just had a good pre-season and just want to get my body right and just try and play good footy. I suppose the only way to get yourself out of a rut is just sort of work hard and start playing good footy. So, I'm happy to be able to doing that. I'll be a lot happier if we'd be able to play finals, but I suppose we've got to wait for a few more results and get another win. So, just enjoying hub life at the moment.
So, Steve, how have you done it? Because as you touched on last year, the harder you tried, it seemed as though the further you slipped into the mire. How have you gone about this massive transformation? Because it's like, as you say, chalk and cheese compared to last year.
Yeah, I think the main thing is just having my body right. Like last year when I got to Melbourne, they tried to get me really fit, and my body just broke down a bit, trying to put up with the workload. And then I got, I had an extended rehab with my groins, and then I got back to play, and then I think it was just a flow-on effect. Like I was just playing catch-up all year, whereas this year I came back about 4 kilos lighter, and I was running a lot. Louis knows I'm not a great runner, but I was able to run with everyone, and the main thing I just wanted to tick off every session. And then once before you know it, the season was over. The pre-season was over, and we were almost time to play games, and I felt good in my body, and all of a sudden the ISO period came and COVID shut it all down, so a bit flat by that, but then just had the same attitude, worked hard over that break, and now I can just play footy and not have to worry about my body. It's a great feeling.
And you spoke recently to the AFL media just about not necessarily the physical preparation, but also the mental preparation that you've probably struggled with in the past, and that seems to just have released a lot of weight off your shoulders, and you're playing and you can make better decisions out on the field without having to worry about those things. Do you agree?
Oh, 100%, Louis. As a young kid and as a young player, all I thought about was my body and having my physical condition right, and you just neglect your sort of mental side of things. And I'm a bit of an angry person, angry player, and I was trying to understand more as to why I was feeling like that, and I didn't like feeling like that all the time. It's good to be competitive, but I just felt like I was, always angry or always trying to prove something wrong, and I just started talking to someone and releasing a few of those demons, I suppose, pardon the pun, and I just feel a bit more freer, and I feel a bit more happy. I'm smiling more on field and off field. So, and with this short sort of turnaround, playing 4 or 5 days apart, the physical prep's huge, but also mental, preparing for a game and then having to perform, and whether it's a win or a loss, and then putting that to bed and going again. So it has had it's been a double-edged sword for me in terms of my off-field stuff and on-field.
So how have you enjoyed the hub life? It's very hard for us to understand what it's like up here, but you've got a bit of downtime, but there's not much to do in your town time, and then once you have a win or a loss, you pretty much got to move on straight after the game, because the next game could be 3 or 4 days away.
Yeah, it has been unique, and we know what the season was going to deliver. Obviously we're lucky to have the season going with what's happening in the world. So I just sort of had an open mind with it. Try and have a bit of downtime when I can. Doing my mindfulness, going to the beach. It's pretty close, and having a bit of I call it Steve time. Just time to myself, because we are in each other's face every day, and we have gym and then training and then meetings and then emergency meetings. Louis, you know what it's like when something goes wrong. There's another meeting, so it can sort of consume you a bit. So I think it's just really important to have a bit of time to yourself, but also just having the families here. I don't have any family here, but I'm from a big family, and just being able to spend time with other people's kids and hang out sort of just gives that sort of homely feel. So I've in the circumstances, I've enjoyed it a lot.
I love the sound of Steve time, Maisie. And tell us about the book that you were able to relate to. Just reading through the interview you did with Mark McGowan at the AFL website that Jordan mentioned earlier. Darren Burgess got you onto it. The Road Less Travelled, and the blurb that's written for it says it's about confronting and solving problems is a painful process which most of us attempt to avoid. You're able to relate to a fair bit of the stuff in this book?
Yeah, mate, it's a very good book. Burgess, he sort of warned me before I read it. He said it's a bit of a shock, but it'll change your life. And it just sort of it talks through a lot of things that things that you do subconsciously that probably aren't right. And like he talks about being a good parent, being a good friend, spiritual growth, and it's a bit of a reality check, and it helps you sort of own up to your own mistakes and sort of ways to get around them, or not get around them, but solve them and become a better person. And it's crazy how if you have those, a lot of it's about hard conversations and delaying gratification. So doing the hard stuff early, like in my case, having a good preseason so I can enjoy the season, or having a hard conversation with a teammate so then we can move on quicker and not have that hanging for the rest of the week. So it has been a really good book. Very thankful for Burjo putting me onto that. But he did say it was going to be a bit of a shock. But I've certainly enjoyed it, and it's helped me a lot.
And I think there's been a few things that Melbourne supporters can smile at this year. Your form being one, but the form of Petrova, he's just taking his game to another level. And for those who were probably privy to his pre-season, it's no surprise that he's continued that form into the season. And I think you mentioned him there before, Darren Burgess. He's had a huge impact on him getting his body right, but also performing, hasn't he?
Yeah, Track, man, he's been a beast all pre-season, and I sort of thought, we've sort of seen that in pre-season a bit. He takes over scratch matches and that sort of thing, but for him to just translate that to the AFL now and doing it so well, and in most weeks, I'm really proud of him. But it is on the back of his body. I think he's certainly fit, and he's running out games well. He sort of owned up, and he wants that role of being the man and being the game winner. Where sometimes, I don't know, I thought he might have got a bit shy in those stages, but he wants it now. And, it's scary when he's up and going, man. No one can tackle him. He's a beast. So, we're pretty lucky to have him.
Steve, you've played just about all of them now out of the goal square. Who's the best forward in the caper? Who do you not dread, but who gives you the most thinking time going into a clash at the moment in 2020?
Good question. A few different ones. I'd say probably Tom Hawkins. He's just the sheer size of him. Tommy Hawkins' size combined with Geelong's ball movement and their ability to lower their eyes coming inside 50. Everyone thinks Tom Hawkins is a big contested player, which he is, but his lead up at the leg and his sheer width of his body is hard to stop. So I'd say Hawk, but I think the one that if I was going to flag one who's going to be really hard to stop, and thankfully I won't be around too much longer, is probably Aaron Norton. He's just so agile and quick, and he can jump. He gives you a problem in every aspect. So I think he'll be one for the future. But at the moment, the Big Hawk will probably be the hardest, I'd imagine. So
you've got to get the job done against Essendon on Saturday afternoon, and then just hope that the Western Bulldogs slip up at the death. I gather you'll all be gathering in the hub to watch that game. Sunday, 6:10 against Fremantle up in Cairns, a venue that didn't treat you too well, and you'll be hoping that the Doggies slip up there on the Sunday night, obviously. Yeah, mate, I really hope Freo come to play. I think they're going a lot better than their ladder position suggests. They're a very good side, very good young midfield, and now they know the Cairns ground, they know the deck will be cheering for them like crazy. So we got to get our job done first, of course, but after that, that Sunday night, I think it will be an anxious wait. So I hope Freo really turn it on.
That sounds nice and tranquil up there with the birds in the background. I'm quite relaxed listening to the noises. What's on for today, mate? You got a day off, or you got to go and train? No, we have we just have flush run and into our weights and some meetings. Louis, the weather is amazing, mate. But you would be like, you remember
the Island Cafe
that
we used to do for training camp. Yeah, now that's installed in the hub, so we don't have to go there. So it's on site, mate. So yeah, it's unbelievable.
Who's probably the one player you're trying to avoid in the hub though? Who's just getting up in your grill?
Well, previously it'd be Petrova, but his missus is up here, and we don't see him.
He's a different man, Petrova, now.
He's a different man, yeah. But so at the moment,
it's probably a good thing Brayshaw went home. He's annoying.
Yeah, Brayshaw. I'm sick of him talking about his golf game, and he hasn't played with us at all. So for him to still be potting everyone about their golf, it's just a bit weird. But yeah, I'm happy he's gone home and getting his ankle right.
Steve, you're going magnificently. Best of luck to you and the team this weekend. You need results to go your way, but you'll be keeping your fingers crossed, as you say. And we get all sorts of feedback off the text while we're talking, and so much of it so positive. Morning, boys. As a disappointed Blues man, I'm really happy for Stephen May. I really rate him as a player. Great to hear he's in a good place. That's from Andy on the app over in Adelaide. So good on you, mate. You're going magnificently. Best of luck for the rest of the season.
Thanks, fellas. Thanks for having me. Take it easy.
Stephen May there. What a great character he sounds like. He would have been a good teammate.